We're thriving.
Do you have any questions that I haven't answered yet?
Chauncey, do you have any questions?
Do I have any questions that you have?
Yeah, good point. That's the OJ.
I don't know.
That's not a question.
So I guess kind of in the same vein as that 3 mile long tunnel, I'm curious if there's any other days or stretches or moments that stand out to you. You can choose either of the routes.
Dude, being on Navajo land was really cool. Dropping into use my brain here. What's the beautiful this is that beautiful town in Arizona, south of Flagstaff.
Sedona?
Yes, thank you. It was the first time I was ever in Sedona, and I dropped in on this like wildly rowdy road, and I mean I broke my bike doing it. Like I broke a pedal. Like this thing was boulders. This thing was like fucking dangerous, and I was going fast, and I was coming hard.
There's another clip.
It's not uncommon. When you're on back gravel roads, you run into OHVs. You know what an OHV is? Off-highway vehicle.
Okay.
Like side-by-sides.
Yeah.
So you run into a lot of those out there. And I never missed an opportunity to try and race one downhill. All right. Like there are times, by the way, I've wrecked trying to do this, very, very dangerous.
Do you recall your top speed on the entire journey?
I've been over 50 miles per hour many
Jesus
times. I think my top speed was like 54 miles per hour.
I would be nervous going 50 on a motorcycle, let alone a bicycle.
No, I tried. I'm like Ricky Bobby. I just want to go fast.
Yeah, first you're last.
Yeah, exactly. I specifically remember one time where I beat a side-by-side down a mountain, and he, like, when we got to the bottom, he looked at me and was just like, what the fuck? Because he saw me, like, fishtailing out, going around. I mean, dude, going fast down gravel mountain roads when it's, like, bending and there's no guardrail. It's like shit.
Yeah, no. It's
and I'm reckless. Like, I'm a reckless human being, and I did not, like, there were times where I was like, oh, I better fucking take it easy. But so going down into Sedona, this was like, I mean, the hill was so steep that I couldn't like really slow down, but like it's so rough and so steep that like you just are at the mercy of gravity essentially, and you're at the mercy of like nature. That's like, as far as like these boulders, dude, there were like, and by the way, I dropped in again, not knowing that I was about to see what I didn't even know I was about to see Sedona. I didn't know what I was going to see. I didn't know that it was just epic, beautiful. Like, when people say Sedona, I'm just like, oh yeah, I heard that's a nice town. I didn't know it was just like Zion or some shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But with a town there.
Yeah. And
I got there right at sunset, and it was the absolute most epic thing I had ever seen. I mean, I was just like, my jaw was on the ground, but it was I think it was a Friday, and so there were other people like on side by sides and like up on this, what's the name of this road? I forget what the road was called. It's a strange name, but it's like revered in the town as being like a gnarly like road. Like you can't go up and down that road in anything other than like a crazy Jeep, that has like crazy clearance and shit like that. Something designed for rock crawling kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But there were other people up and down this dirt road because they wanted to see the sunset on Friday in Sedona. And so I'm seeing these like tourists, and I'm like, wearing my singlet, and I'm like bombing this fucking mountain. I actually broke my pedal and popped a tire while doing this, and like it's as the sun is setting, and I'm trying to like make it to a motel, and I'm trying to race the darkness down and all that shit, but I can't help but stop like every 40 feet because the sunset keeps getting better and better, and the view just keeps getting better and better. And I don't even know if I do you remember me sharing pictures of any of that?
Yeah, I remember a series of sunset photos. I'm just imagining
it was by far the most beautiful sunset I think of the whole time. Just with the scene of all these like sandstone like monolithic rock features. It just was fucking unreal. It was so cool.
I got to imagine you get an adrenaline kick doing this that doesn't exist in through hiking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no adrenaline. There's no true, unless you're like, an animal encounter.
Yeah, right.
Which is like a life and death type of thing.
Totally.
More so. You can attest to that with a mountain lion.
Yeah.
That adrenaline rush was like a drug.
Yeah, I've slept great after that.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, it's thrilling. It can be thrilling if you, are trying to go fast. And being on a bike is fun. It made me want to have a motorcycle, to be honest with you. Two wheels is fun. Two wheels is a lot of fun.
You on a motorcycle makes way too much sense.
I agree. Yep. Funny you should say that, because the day that I was approaching the Canadian border from Eureka, I would often stop into bars. If you're passing a bar on a bicycle, you're stopping.
Yeah.
Especially, it was so hot every day. Like you give me some cold beverages, and I stopped in this one bar, like a few miles from the border. I forget what it was called, but there were a bunch of like bikers there, like, Harley Davidson bikers. And I literally put my bike right next to theirs, like in the group.
Flashed the two fingers down.
Took a picture. I was like, I joined a biker gang today, and I went up to the bar and they were all in there, and I'm like, hope you don't mind. I kicked over your bikes outside, and they all like laughed, and I said some other like snarky shit that was like sarcastically funny, but turns out these people were all from Castle Rock.
Huh? Yeah.
Is that what the town is called south of here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They were all from Castle Rock, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in Lakewood, and they're like, yeah, we're going to Sturgis, which is like the country's biggest like biker rally festival kind of thing over in Sturgis, South Dakota. And ironically, I had been to the 70th anniversary for Sturgis, so I had a little experience of knowing what they were going to. And I started talking shit about how cool my bike was compared to theirs.
You want to see a nice hog?
Yeah. They're like, so I was like, how far do you guys ride in a day? And they like said like, I don't know, like 50 miles, something. And I'm like, they're like, how about you? I'm like, 100. And they're like, no shit.
Damn.
I'm like, yep.
I'm more surprised they're only going 50 miles.
I mean, I'm not doing 100 miles a day, by the way, every day. Like
Yeah.
those are just like, I have done plenty of 100-mile days, but like I think the average day while I'm actually on the bike, when I'm not taking a day off or something like that, I would say it's in the like 70 to 80 range.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you had a lot of business partnerships for this trip, but let's like pretend that it was just out of pocket. What kind of budget does a trip like this take? And in comparison to hiking, like what is
It costs the same as a long distance backpacking trip in my estimation, and it is an estimation because I don't track my costs really at all. I don't give a fuck.
Is that after the gear acquisition?
Oh yeah. After the gear,
Because bikepacking stuff is more expensive.
Yeah, fortunately, business partnerships leads to getting the gear for free,
Yeah.
which is
would bikepacking
huge.
have like would it be more expensive than getting an entire like ultralight hiking setup from
the bike is
altogether?
$3,500 that I rode. $3,500. That's some people's expense for their whole trip.
Yeah.
On a backpacking trip.
And there are bikes that are significantly more expensive.
Yeah,
than
of
that.
course,
Yeah.
of course. So, and by the way, when I say it costs the same, it's roughly the same cost as far as expenses while you're on the bike for a 3,000 mile long bike ride. But like it's condensed, right? So you're spending that much money in a much shorter period of time. So you're blowing through money rapidly. Per day. The per day cost is greater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're covering a way bigger distance.
Correct.
Yeah.
What makes the per day cost more expensive? Because you're still eating like the same amount of. Are you eeating more food, or what is it that makes it more expensive?
I'm a
per
fat
day?
boy. I eat lots of food. I didn't get my name Jabba for nothing, sweetheart.
But compared to hiking,
I'm eating. I think I'm eating more and better. I'm eating more better.
Yeah.
I'm
and you
eating-
mentioned that you had access to town, so you're eating town food as
Dude,
opposed
I am eating
to ramen.
fat kid snacks. So ice cream every gas station I come to. Dude.
Yeah.
Packing out pizzas, like the whole, just beers all the time, bags of sand. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
But I know you obviously still have a big soft spot in your heart for backpacking, because we talked previously, like the thing that you were missing.
You mean like a squish mitten?
Exactly what I mean. The thing that you get from through hiking that you didn't get in backpacking is like this sense of peace and zen and being remote in the backcountry that you never really achieved while bikepacking.
Yeah, no. Again, it's not a great substitute. Honestly, what I think is a happy if I did 6,000 miles bikepacking this upcoming year, I think I'd like to do more. Like I did the Hayduke 2 years ago, right? That kind of shit is great. Like these long distance trails are awesome, and I want to maintain a relationship with long distance hiking on. The Triple Crown trails, various other national scenic trails. Like I'm never really gonna get away from like doing that kind of hiking, but doing shit like the Hayduke or the Wind River High Route or the Sierra High Route, that's the most thrilling type of backpacking that you can do, because it's really engaging. You really got your head on a swivel. You're always hyper aware of where you are on the map and where you are in the terrain. If I'm gonna continue backpacking, I'm gonna have to have those types of adventures that kind of like fill the need for like a high engagement activity, because bikepacking is a high engagement activity, because of course if you're doing 50 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, even 30 miles an hour, the stakes are high if you fuck up, right?
Yeah. Totally.
And I like that. You're engaged.
Yeah.
Right.